12:03 on a game day, final home game of the regular season for the Edmonton Oilers. They get the Los Angeles Kings tonight. It is the Oil Stream. We are presented to you by Boston Pizza, and we will be at the Clairview Boston Pizza this time 2 days from now, 48 hours from now. Myself and Tom Gazzola will be at the Clairview Boston Pizza for Oil Stream as they start to ramp things back up after a fire took them down. So let's get some nasties out. Let's get some Oil Streamers, some ESTers out on Wednesday at noon at Clairview. You come on down. I will buy you a beverage to settle in for your lunch. Whatever that beverage may be, maybe not fish bowls, but probably still fish bowls. Tommy Gazzola, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man?
Hey, Dusty, what a great offer. Shout out to Jason, who we know well and tough go with the fire. But it sounds like this BP is like the newest design, and he went all out, all the bells and whistles. So I'm kind of curious to see what it looks like. And I'm happy that we get to go back there, and I'm happy that it's been rebuilt. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to Wednesday. But today down at the rink, Dusty, my goodness, man. Like, that was something. Poor Chris Knobloch trying to remember who's out with what. And then even like I'm putting out the tweet. I'm like, okay, wait. What about this guy?
Yeah.
Did I forget about somebody? I don't know.
Can't he just say, they're not that banged up. We're just resting them. Don't worry about it. They'll be fine.
I think he's too nice and too detail oriented to just like gloss over it like that. But man, oh man. And he stood in there for 7 minutes and he delivered. So, yikes, dude. Like the lineup, we're joking. I was talking to Daryl Evans and we were joking. He goes, what the heck is happening over there? I'm like, you know what, Daryl? It changes every single day. And the team we see tonight will be different from the team we see on Wednesday. That'll be different from the team we see likely on Sunday for game one. It's just unbelievable. The injuries and this and that. And my goodness.
All right. Well, let's get to this. Lay it out for us, Tommy. You had the tweet. Who's playing? Who's not playing? What the heck is going on here?
Okay, let's start with the guys who are playing. Nugent Hopkins, he's been sick. He's good to go. He was resting up and expected to get the green light to play. Josh Brown has been recalled and will play tonight. Dusty,
was he in hiding locally with Derek Ryan, or what's going on here?
Listen, he was away from the Condors for a month and was not skating and just got back there like a week ago. So I know I was listening to you and Huss on Lock Shop, and you're like, he's a pylon. Guess what? It could be worse than it was before when he was a regular player and not taking a month off from the team. I think there was a birth of a child, his wife, and they were waiting the birth of a child, but he was gone for a month, not skating. And now he comes back and all of a sudden he's called up and he's taking on the LA Kings. Like, all right, sure. Quinn Hudson, we spoke to him, met him today. Very nice guy. He's going to play. He's going to wear number 20. I saw Andrew Peard walking around with Hudson's jersey. I think he had to go do like the photo shoot and the video board stuff. He's had a crazy time getting in here. He was talking about his flight. One of the engines caught on fire last night.
What?
And they had to emergency land. Yeah. Like all of this stuff. You're just like, what is happening right now? And so it's been insane. So he's in tonight. Here are the guys that are out. McDavid, not going to play. They are. It was called precautionary, and I think they just want to rest him 3 and 4 nights back to back with travel. Jake Wallman, they said maybe by Wednesday, game one for sure. Frederick, definitely not for the rest of the regular season. Maybe early round one. Ekholm, 100% out for round one. I mean, if it's as bad as some people are speculating it. Maybe even not.
Might be the distance. Yeah.
And that's a huge blow. Stetcher got nicked up in that game last night. He is day to day, will not play. Hyman maybe by game one. I think they're expecting him by game one. Draisaitl perhaps by Wednesday, but game one for sure. And Evander Kane. He says he feels great. He says he's in better physical condition.
Did he meet today? He chatted with the media today?
He talked. Yeah,
Okay.
He spoke. He gave an update to us. I think he's gearing up for game one, and he referred to coming off the couch when he came over from San Jose. And he says he's in better shape than he was at the end of the year last year. And he's in better shape than he was when he came over to Edmonton, when he was going through all that stuff with the Sharks, nasty breakup there. He needs the clearance from the medical team too. And it doesn't sound like he'll be going down to Bakersfield for a conditioning stint. He said that has not been discussed. Chris Knobloch has been asked about it a couple of times over the last few days, and he will not comment on it. So that might be, I mean, if you want to read between the lines, maybe it's a disagreement on what to do, or maybe they just haven't brought it up. But it doesn't look like we're going to see Evander Kane in Bakersfield, at least, kind of listening to these guys discuss it, both Kane and Knobloch from the team side of things. So a laundry list of stuff here, Dusty.
Yeah.
And it's just, I feel like I got through all of it. If I'm forgetting something, let me know.
So how do you think they do tonight?
Awesome.
It sounds like there's going to be a bunch of good audio coming out of that room today. Reed Wilkins on the Reed Wilkins Show. We'll be breaking that down. Obviously, Maddie and Gager will have the latest on EST afternoons as well. You know what? Maybe I'm sick, but I look at it, and of everything you just said, the one thing that really stands out to me, and I know it's listed as day-to-day, and as a vet, maybe you just give him a break here. But if Stetcher can't go, your blue line, like Dineen or Brown, would be playing in the playoffs for you, Tommy. Like,
yeah,
they need Stetcher. They need Wallman. Like, the 6 guys that they have that will be available to them in round 1 as reported: Wallman, Nurse, Ekholm, Bouchard, not Ekholm, Kulak, Bouchard, Emberson, and Stetcher. I know it's just Stetcher, but to have to go to Dineen on his offside, or one of the other guys moves over, and the blue line does not have the depth to handle a Stetcher injury right now. I'm just throwing that out there.
Unbelievable.
Which is a crazy thing to say.
I know.
But I think it's accurate.
Here's a guy I forgot about. Klingberg wasn't even brought up today. Non-factor, I guess. And I don't think they're expecting him back, Dusty. I mean, I didn't see him today on the ice. I just think that was a bad signing. Unnecessary. Didn't get it at the time. Didn't work out. Blew up in their face. But here we are.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's gonna be around. 780-218-9999. Mex Bazuzu says, I don't know if you guys answered this on other shows, but why did Ekholm feel the need to test out an injury that is allegedly this severe? Tommy, any thoughts on him returning and then not making it through?
Like Klingberg?
No. Ekholm.
Oh, man. That's 2 guys that have had that happen in like a span of a week.
Yeah.
So there was some, what did Knobloch say about it? He did talk about it. He said that this injury had been lingering, obviously. They've taken some time off with him sitting out. What did he play? 5 of the last 18 games prior to yesterday.
He hasn't played much lately.
Right. And so to him, like he was baffled by it as well. They assumed that Ekholm was good enough to play. He got the clearance. I know some people have pointed to the medical team, but the medical team all they can do is test these guys and their bodies, go off of what they're telling them, and make their assessment. Obviously, they get data and they do MRIs and X-rays and all of that, but I don't know if it's just fluky or if it was a ticking time bomb with Ekholm. And it's baffling. But I don't think it's on the medical team, because if the players say, you know what, I feel good, I'm skating all right out there, let's go. And then all of a sudden he tweaks it on a shift and it looks so harmless that you don't think anything of it. But a guy like that falling down twice in a shift is something. It was usually an issue with equipment, not, hey, did his groin tear off the bone or whatever? Like that's unfortunate.
Brendan, can you bring up that Popeye spicy headlines? I tried to do it myself. I don't know why I wouldn't. It's already good to go on the left. You just got to throw it on over. I don't know why I wouldn't go. I know it's not going over. It's weird. I haven't seen that. It's not the end of the world. We'll still get to your Popeyes spicy headlines. And the Ekholm being out is obviously a significant part of it. I guess, Tommy, it's like, to me, with the approach of Ekholm playing here is we've done everything we can for it. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to live with this moving forward this season. Might as well give it a try. Like, I don't think anybody was saying, oh yeah, no, he's 100%. Like he's right. Good to go. To me, it was like, this is as good as you're going to get. Let's just go and take a peek. Like, obviously they didn't think, hey, in a week, it'll be more likely you can play. Cause if that's the case, then he should have never stepped on the ice. Right. Like if they thought it would have been more, but they must have been under the thought process of this is as good as it's going to get. Let's go take a peek at it. And see how it holds up, right? Like that's got to be the thought process, because I don't know what else really makes sense. He clearly wasn't remotely close to 100%, hasn't been for months, and they must not have thought another week of rest would have helped it in any way.
Fair, absolutely, and they said, okay, let's see, and it blew up in their face, and maybe that's the same for Frederick as well, but. I mean, I mean, high ankle sprains, I guess you're going to have to suck it up. But the Frederick one, I mean, I just hate the fact that they're going to be a forward short. So he all of a sudden played a day. You know, that one doesn't make sense to me. The Ekholm one, hey, you're going to have to play with this. Let's go see if you can play with this. And then we can evaluate things moving forward. And obviously he could not play with it. So now how does the blue line hold up here, Tommy? Of all the guys, and I know all of them are going to have to be better without Ekholm there. But if you had to say, okay, well, this guy really needs to step up, who is that guy? I'd point to Evan Bouchard defensively. And I think he played all right last night. I thought the Oilers were decent defensively. Don't get me wrong. I fully acknowledge the Winnipeg Jets sat out a ton of really good players, and that wasn't the real Jets that we saw last night. But we didn't see the real Oilers either. But Evan Bouchard, I think in the last couple of weeks, there have been some good signs defensively. Don't get me wrong as well. He's had some egregious giveaways that have directly led to goals, as he tends to do. But that's a guy that, you know, if the coaching staff takes him aside, maybe Paul Coffey puts his arm around Bouchard and says, you know, kid, we're going to really need you here. And that breathes confidence into him, and he decides to buckle it down, and whatever gave him the yips all season long goes away. That would be wonderful. Nurse needs to continue to play the way that he has for the majority of the season. He's been very steady for them. And then, you know, Brett Kulak, same thing. Brett Kulak's been great. So I don't know if you can really ask for more out of those guys, but they're going to have more, like a larger workload, certainly. But if they can keep it steady on the rudder like they have all season, and then maybe you get some improved defensive play from Bouchard, then all right. Like you can kind of weather this storm and then hope for Wallman to get back and hopefully be healthy enough to ease some of the burden. That's how I kind of look at it. Emberson needs to be, they all need to just be better. Like Emberson, Dusty has had struggles in the last month or so. Yeah. He needs to be better. Like he just needs to, all right, time to put on your big boy pants and get to work. This isn't, you know, touching and feeling your way through your first stretch drive into the postseason. Like, forget all that. They need you. Be reliable, even though you've only played 100 NHL games or whatever it is now.
Who plays with Bouchard in the playoffs? I don't necessarily like him and Wallman together, buddy. I'm just going to be honest with you. So, is it Nurse or is it Kulak?
I would trust Kulak over Nurse. Just instinctually.
Yeah, I think
Wallman with Nurse.
I think I'd rather keep Nurse away from Bouchard and just let Nurse continue to do what he's been doing.
Yeah.
So far this year. So, I mean, could you what would you think of? Well, and this is the problem here, I guess. I was going to say, what would you think of Kulak and Bouchard, Nurse with Wallman, but then you have to play Stetcher and Emerson together, which I don't think you really want to do. So
no. Then
you would go Nurse, Stetcher, Wallman, Emerson. You think that might be what possibly happens?
Yeah, it could. And then you see a steady dose of Kulak double shifting. You could see some of that. Remember, they move him up and down.
Like sliding him over to play with Wallman on the right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could see that.
I guess you could do that.
Depending on what you're getting out of Emberson and Stetcher, we could quickly see them go down to 4.5 D-men per game. You know what I mean? And the half being Kulak putting in extra work, and then maybe, it's a mess, dude.
It's not ideal. We can say that about the back end as we continue with your Popeyes spicy headlines. If you are looking for a bite to eat here over the lunch hour, Popeyes has the value menu available for you. You're looking at $5 items. You can get the fried pickles. You can get the blackened cauliflower, mini chicken wrap. Mini chicken sandwich is actually a pretty good fit still. I'd probably go mini chicken sandwich and some nugs. I think that'll fill you up at lunchtime. Not a bad idea. May even consider doing it myself today after the show. Tommy, the other headline, obviously, Quinn Hudson signing today. What was the buzz among the media like about Quinn Hudson signing, getting a chance to play a couple of games here? He's not eligible to play in the playoffs for the Oilers, so you get a brief look at him, and then he'll be fighting for a job in camp next year. But what are they saying down at the rink about Hudson?
Hello, who are you? That was kind of the first thing. And I think like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins spoke today and he's like, yeah, I was on the ice with him for 3 minutes. They're like, what'd you think of him? He's like, I don't know. He seems nice. I didn't really get a feel for the type of player he is. But, Hudson talked about who he really looked up to when he was younger. And he said, he really appreciated Mitch Marner. So maybe he has that element to his game. He's a right shot guy as well, not the biggest guy. He also said he appreciated the Blackhawks of the 2010s. And obviously that would probably entail watching a lot of Patrick Kane. So a skilled guy with offensive upside. And I think from an Oilers point of view, they're like, great. Can you play? Yes. Nice. You're in. We'll figure it out from there. They're kind of just thrusting him into this. So it's a sneak peek. I don't know how much we can read into these couple of games that he's going to play, Dusty, but if he gives you a couple of decent games, and that's promising, and then he's competing for a spot on the team next year, and probably he's going to need some time in Bakersfield, and they're restocking the shelves. I will say this, and this guy, Quinn Hudson, it's promising. It's good, offensive upside. He's a little bit older as a prospect. It's encouraging to see them going out and getting guys to restock the shelves because they have nothing left down in Bakersfield.
They have to, right?
Traded away prospects. So however they're finding these guys, and as long as they're decent, even the Euros, I know I said I don't love the European strategy. I stand by that, but at least they're going out and getting guys. And if some of them hit on the big club at some point, a year or two from now, great. If they're misses, but they give you decent minutes down in Bakersfield, as you bring along other prospects you've drafted, then all right, you swung and you tried. But I am encouraged by the fact that they are going out and trying to get some players to make sure that the organization has some depth again, which it has been lacking big time.
Yeah, like picking up guys who are kind of legitimate prospects as opposed to 29-year-olds from Europe and promising them a job on the team.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Like going out and getting these younger guys and throwing them into the system and saying, hey man, like nobody's given you a contract yet. You're 23 years old. You had a nice season. We'll give you a look. Maybe it works out. Maybe it doesn't. It's a Tomasek one where I'm just like, I just hope they didn't say, hey man, here's over $1 million. You're going to be an Edmonton Oiler next year without, that type of thing I think is kind of weak. But all these other guys that they signed, these younger guys that they can throw into the system and see where they go. I mean, you essentially have no other option but to do that right now with the current state of the pipeline and the lack of picks here in the near future. So we'll see what becomes of them. Listed at 5'11", $176. Did he look 5'11"?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's not like a 5'9" pretending to be 5'11"?
I mean, he was on his skates, and then I saw him talking to the equipment staff very briefly, showing him where to put his sticks at the stick rack. But yeah, he just, 5'10", 5'11", somewhere around there. And slider guy. He's not like built and jacked or anything like that.
Saw some Drake Caggiula comparisons. What do you think about that?
I think he's bigger than Drake. Like Drake's a little bit shorter, but he's kind of thicker, kind of like a little bit of a pit bull.
Yeah.
Whereas, Hudson seemed taller but skinnier, if I could simplify it.
Some similar offensive numbers in college. So we'll see. Fight for a job next year. Basically, come in and compete for a job with Matt Savoy. Am I wrong? I mean, I would think that's probably what we would be talking about next year. Like that's who he's going to have to beat probably for a job, I guess is the way to say it.
I like the way you described it just now, because I think, and Savoy's had an all-star season. He continues to be a guy that's relied upon heavily down in Bakersfield as they wind down the season. And so,
does he factor in come playoff time? Tommy, you think?
Savoy, he might.
Yeah,
they might need him.
Yeah,
seriously,
no, for sure.
I'm pretty sure he's going to be a black ace. Like as soon as Bakersfield's done, whenever that is. I guarantee you Savoy's going to be up here, and he might be a guy that they have to look at depending on the injury situation. Savoy, by the way, you want to talk about a good story, is he has had a very strong season down in Bakersfield, and he's had a couple of looks here in Edmonton. He has had some decent showings with the big club. So I think if you want to pencil a guy in, I would probably put Savoy in there for next year.
Yeah.
I would listen, man, I know that they might miss a couple or be losing some guys up front and moving on from some guys because they want to go younger and quicker and all that. But I would probably put Savoy in over Tomasek anywhere on the roster, to be honest with you. Just starting today by looking at it right now.
I think they're probably planning on both of them being here next year.
I know.
But
basically Savoy has done everything that they have asked of him. And so he's on the right trajectory, I would say.
All right. Any talk about Arto Lappinen down at the rink today?
Well, I heard
there damn well better have been. He's a Finn. Come on, give this guy some love.
Yeah. You ordered his jersey, I hear, already?
Well, why wouldn't I? I mean, why? What do you mean order it? I already had it. He led the Finnish league in scoring this year.
Oh, I love it. There was some talk about him. I was talking with Bryn Griffiths, and apparently somebody over in Finland told Bryn that Arto had been a tire shop guy. So he was working at a tire shop a few years ago. We haven't validated that claim, but immediately I had so much more respect for him being a fellow former tire shop boy myself. But I don't know, man. Like, okay, you went out and signed this guy. He had a great season. Would he lead the league in scoring as a defenseman?
Didn't lead D-men in scoring. Led the league in scoring.
I know,
as a defenseman.
Super impressive. But Daniel Nugent-Bowman compared him to Joel Persson. Remember him? Yeah, that says it all. That's
another one of those days that I completely forgot about.
For good reason.
Yeah.
I just want to go over Joel Persson's stats.
I immediately thought of Johan Ovitu, who went to New Jersey from Helsinki. And this guy had double the points, almost triple the points Ovitu had in Finland.
Right.
So,
well, Ovitu, he was an international man of mystery, Johan Ovitu. I really liked talking to him. He was a great guy. His wife was she was beautiful. And he spoke like 5 or 6 languages. Just you could have a discussion about anything with him. And Johan Ovitu at least played multiple seasons in the NHL, as opposed to Joel Persson, who played 13 games for the Oilers, had 2 assists and was -1, and then went down to Bakersfield and was okay. But he's been in Vaxio for the last 5 years. So as soon as I heard DNB compare him to Persson, I was just like, oh, okay. I guess so.
I can't remember who it was. I saw somebody, maybe it was Kurlock, but somebody said, NHL caliber offensive game, his own end, a little bit of a nightmare. So he'll fit right in.
This a little bit of a
let's see where it goes. But apparently a puck mover. So we'll see how he what's he, 25? So I don't think I don't think it's coming over to playing the NHL or nothing. I mean, throw him in the American League if need be. See, right over in the chat says, guys, we need a Hall of Forget-Me-Nots hopefully in the new EST headquarters. Yeah, like, here's all these guys. Remember Yoel Pearson and who was the guy we forgot? Bertisov. Bertisov a little while ago. Yeah.
Who else would be in there? Like Iro Pakarin. Iro actually played a couple of seasons.
Iro played for a little while though. I wouldn't classify him as one of the forget-me-nots.
That's fair.
I think there's others that probably hit that mark. All right, it is the oil stream. I do want to show this quickly. I believe you guys were talking about it on Friday a little bit. But Bruce dropped off the William Huff package today. So there's a bunch of different things. You go to williamhuff.com and click on store, and then you can see the different options you have. You can get the entire package. I think it's $75 for the whole package that he brought in this morning. I could be incorrect, but if you go to williamhuff.com and then click on store, you will see a 2025 Oilers playoff push. So you can buy all these individually. And if you use the code ESTHUFF, that's EST Huff, you will get 10% off up until 6:00 tonight. So there's the banner. This is 4 feet by 2 feet. So you can hang this around the office. You can hang it at home, put it in the man cave. It's the 2025 Oilers playoff banner. We got the pom-poms. You can get those bad boys. They're great. The stickers right here. This is a good stack of stickers. I mean, probably like 20 stickers here, something like that. So you get the stickers and then the 2 decals that you can, they look sort of white here, but they'd be big orange decals. Same thing as the sticker. It's going to look just like the sticker, but in decal form. You can find those and put wherever you want. So get it right now, williamhuff.com. And if you use the code ESTHUFF, you will get 10% off up until 6:00 tonight. So you got 5.5 hours to hop on this. If you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or EdmontonSportsTalk.com, if you're listening after the fact on like the podcast later tonight or tomorrow morning, you miss out on the 10% off, but you can still get this stuff at William Huff. And I did not know that Bruce was going to do this year, but on all the pom-pom handles, there's an Edmonton Sports Talk sticker. So that's very cool nice. Too. So shout out to our partner Bruce over at William Huff for helping us out a little unexpectedly, which is very cool. So that'll help the playoff buzz. I did write a playoff song last night, Tommy.
You did,
which I'm sending off to our production company today, and we'll see how it goes over. It's funny because if they lose game 1, people will be like, "This is the worst song ever." But if they go to LA and win 2, people are gonna be like, "Oh my God, injected into my veins." So fingers crossed that it works. We'll see.
I'm loving this Hall of Knots.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember, there was a guy that was, I remember. Do you remember a guy named Antti Tervainen?
Antti Tervainen? Yeah. I do not.
Yeah, he's another guy that they went out and got from Finland. And I remember him. He was like a real hardcore, like tough as nails, not the biggest guy, but like he would hit hard, and he thought he was ready to play in the NHL. I remember him just telling me, he's like, "I'm ready to play. I'm good enough for the NHL. I'm good enough for this Oilers team." And he never got called up, played 55 games in OKC his first year, 32 the next year, never got that chance, and then just went back to Finland and has been playing there ever since. But Antti Tervainen, he was famous
I do not remember this guy. What year was this guy?
2012, 13.
Is it spelled like Antti Niemi and Teuvo Tervainen?
ANTTIRVAINEN.
There he is.
And his when he came over from Finland, Oilers fans got excited because there was a commercial about him where he like hits a Zamboni and knocks the Zamboni back. It was a great commercial. It was just because he hit so hard, right? He was like a little freight train. So I remember him, and he would fall under that category because he was like, "I'm ready to play," and he was okay in the preseason, but you could tell he was headed to Oklahoma City. And I remember he just never got that chance. And I don't quite frankly know how good he would have been in the NHL, but that's a name of a guy that would fall into this category. Hunter Tremblay is another one. I remember being like, I think that's a guy Stoff really had a lot of time for. Hunter Tremblay, the first year in Oklahoma City.
I know why Stoff had time for him.
because he was U Sport.
U Sport guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Had 31 points in 68 games in OKC. And then basically was done hockey the following year.
That's right.
Yeah.
Do you remember Tony Riella?
I do remember Tony Riella. Of course I remember Tony Riella. Little dude.
Another guy. That's another guy that they were like hyped up about and never. Hey,
he was a point per game in OKC. Maybe he should have got a look.
Tony Riella.
He's still playing too in Switzerland. Still grinding out over there. I remember Tony Riella. He was a draft pick, right? He was a guy that they drafted. So. He wasn't somebody that they kind of snagged out of the woodwork.
I think he was drafted. That's right. But there's some hype around him. There are so many guys that like the names keep popping up. Like this Nico Hovinen was this giant 6'7" goalie out of Finland. People are like, oh, how about Hovinen? And then he would go down and play, and he was terrible. He was bad. There's so many of those guys, and I'm getting like reminders and feeling shades of that time with some of these signings that they're bringing in. So I'm kind of chuckling to myself about that.
Yeah, obviously not all of them are going to work. Some of them are going to end up like the Hovenins and some of these other guys. But maybe one or two of them do work out. And then you got them for nothing, right? Free asset acquisition there. So 780-218-9999. Hampton Steve says, don't forget the goalie, Konovalov. Man, that was that was kind of almost recently. What happened to that dude?
Konovalov. I remember the name. What year would that have been?
3 years ago. It was just 3 years ago. He was in Bakersfield, played 17 games, had an .893 save percentage. He was their third round pick in 2019. So they went Stuart Skinner in 2017, I think.
Yeah.
And then Rodrigue in 2018. And then used a third round pick in 2019 on Konovalov. I'm pretty sure that was like a run of goalies in the top 3 rounds 3 years in a row.
Ilya Konovalov. Oh yeah, this guy. I think he left like mid training camp, if I recall correctly.
Played 17 games. Not with the Oilers.
Yes,
not with the Oilers.
Okay. He thought he was ready too. And I think he just left. That's right. He came in, he was hyped up, and he thought he should have been the guy. And I think he was disgruntled at one point as well. And then they just said, all right, dude, you're done. That's it. I remember this guy.
Yeah, it was Konovalov, 85th overall, third round in 19. The year before that, they went second round, 62nd overall, Rodrigue. And the year before that, they went third round, 78th overall in Stuart Skinner.
Yeah.
So, and then since then, from a goaltending perspective, since the Konovalov pick, they went 2 years without drafting a goalie. In 2022, one of their 4 picks, they took Samuel Jansson, who they just signed, had a good year in the second level of Sweden. In 2023, they had 3 picks and took Nathaniel Day, who they also just recently signed. He was a 6th round pick. And then last year, they used a 2nd round pick, 64th overall, on Emil Vinny out of Finland as well. And this year, I haven't been monitoring Emil Vinny's stats, but I'll take a quick look. I'm not sure where he played this year. They've only got him down for 2 games. Let me see.
He's nicked up.
Emil Vinny. We'll see if there's any. Maybe Hockey DB is missing. Maybe he played like in an even lower level league. Let's see.
I'm seeing Pizza Boy's comment in the nasty chat. I'm reading it on my TV. It says, I remember Kitnar because he played 1 game, and it was a game against New Jersey that I watched from a box. Kevin Smith was supposed to be in the box with us, but his pet died. I do remember that. Kitnar, they brought up from Stockton. Or was it Bakersfield? They had to call him up emergency from the ECHL because the AHL team was too far away to get a guy up in time. So Kitnar got called up and played. And I remember Milan from when he was in Oklahoma City. He started out well, and then his game kind of dipped, and they had to send him back down to the ECHL. He played that one game, didn't do much, and that was the last of Milan Kitnar as an Oiler.
If you're watching over on YouTube today, there's a bunch of you over there. No reason that we shouldn't smash through 100 likes today. And make sure you stick around. Gager is back on EST Afternoons and the Reed Wilkins Show from 3 to 6. We'll be diving into more of that very confusing injury updates from everybody down at the rink today. Just a quick update. Emil Vinny, who was drafted in the second round by the Oilers last year, played 7 games U20 this year, had a 9.10 and a 2.02. Played 1 game in Liga, 625 save percentage. That's the top level in Finland with HIFK. And then he was on loan in the Mesties, which is like the league below the Liga, but above U20, and only played 1 game. So he only played 9 games this year. So I don't know if he was completely banged up or what. But anyway, there's another goaltender that they're going to try to make work. All right, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. K-Gill over on the chat says, Tommy, what's your projection of Quinn Hudson? Do you see him as a top 6 winger?
Carmen, I have never watched him play a single minute of hockey in my life. I have no clue. I think they want to see what they've got in this guy. They like him. He had good numbers at BU. I think he's probably going to be in Bakersfield next year for most of the season. I'd like to be pleasantly surprised and see him have an impact at the NHL level, but that's usually how it works out with guys like this. I remember Ryan Poehling. Do you remember Ryan?
Yeah, Ryan Poehling, a Habs pick.
Hat trick, first game. I think he ended up in the minors the next year, had a bad concussion, and is now, where is he? He's like a depth forward in like Philly or something like that now. So who knows? It's kind of a wild card with these guys that get signed out of NCAA.
I mean, I haven't seen anybody say he's projected to be a top 6-4. He's 23 years old and was unsigned. Yeah. Like he's had it. Like, I think if anybody's projecting to be a top 6 forward, you're probably getting a little overzealous. Let's see if they have an NHL player on their hands first. And I do like the idea of him scoring tonight and then being slotted in on Draisaitl's wing all summer. But let's see where it goes from here. We don't even know if this guy is going to be a full-time NHLer yet. So to be projecting him anywhere really is kind of jumping the gun. I will say I haven't seen anybody anywhere say they project him as a top 6 forward. So feel free to send me a link or a link to a tweet or whatever if you're seeing that somewhere else, because I certainly don't see 100% of the things that are online. AB Poker Inc. texts in, and you can text us, of course, 780-218-9999. He texts in and says, Dusty, do you still stand by your conference final or it's a failure take? Tommy, how is that Oil to win the cup bet feeling for you now? Now, look, I still stand by I still think, and it's there's differing opinions around the office here, but based on the year they had last year, the fact that I think some of these guys are being rested more than they need to be ready for the playoffs right now. If they don't make it back to the conference final, I will 100% view this season as a failure, injuries or not. I mean, so yeah, no, my take on that hasn't changed. Get to the conference final or the year is a failure. As for an Oiler to win the cup bet, I mean, I got a few of those as well kicking over in the Cool Bet account as well. I think I did it the day after they lost the cup last year. So
yeah,
I mean,
mine is tied into Elks winning Grey Cup too. So
is it? Did you parlay both teams?
I parlayed both of them. Yeah, it was like
gonna be strange if it's the Elks that deliver. You know,
they might. Yeah, it will be. It will be. I don't feel any different about it. I just put a little. I think I put $20 on it or something like that. I still think this is a good team. Now the injuries this is ridiculous. I've never seen anything like this. They're going to be in for a tough series against LA. There's no questioning that. But I still have faith in this group of veteran players that have Stanley Cup experience to get through the first round. I said it on Hello Hockey on Saturday. I think the Kings are the 7th best team going into the playoffs in the Western Conference. Now, part of that is a hot take, and I did it to kind of, spice up the show and stir things up a little bit on Saturday. But I do think the Oilers get by them still. Do I think it's going to happen in 4 or 5? No. Do I think it could happen in 6? Yes. I just think the Oilers have LA's number, and we're in for a good battle. But when you have McDavid and Draisaitl, and if they're healthy like they need to be, and those guys become absolute beasts in the postseason, and if they have healthy bodies joining the lineup, and Hyman gets back on track, and now all of a sudden you've got Arvidsson playing well, Henrique's playing well, Brown is playing well. Like, it feels like despite all the injuries, some of these other guys, Dusty, are rounding into form at the perfect time of year. Now you're going to need goaltending, and we'll see how this defense holds up. But there are some elements to like about the Oilers. I do expect them to still put up a good fight and make some kind of a run.
I'm not sure if you saw TSN's end of the year pre-playoff power rankings today, but
I did not.
Okay, so I will tell you right now, the Edmonton Oilers are third on TSN's power rankings right now. Try to guess the 2 teams that are ahead of them.
Dallas?
No.
Washington?
No.
LA?
Yes. The Kings are number 2 on the list. Who's number 1?
Winnipeg?
Nope.
Florida?
No.
Who? Don't tell me they put Toronto.
No. Toronto 7th.
As they should be.
Tampa Bay Lightning, buddy.
Oh, I like that. That's a good
The Tampa Bay Lightning are number 1 on the final power rankings. The Kings are number 2. The Oilers are number 3. Vegas is number 4. I find it a little weird that the Kings, Oilers, and Vegas are 2, 3, and 4 on this power rankings when we've been sitting here all year talking about, look how good the Central is. It's going to be tough going through the Central. And now I'm not sure how they put these rankings together because I think the Kings are too high. I think the Oilers are probably too high. Vegas might be even a little bit too high. So it's Tampa, Los Angeles, Edmonton, Vegas, Winnipeg, Colorado, Toronto, Dallas, Carolina, Washington, and then Florida at 11. And then I would assume it's a bit of a drop-off because you get down to like Ottawa. Utah's not even going to the playoffs. They're 13th on the power rankings right now.
What?
Yeah. Who's the lowest power ranking team that is going to the playoffs? The Habs are 20th. Right behind the Canucks, Blue Jackets, Flames. So they like Utah more than anybody else.
Why Dallas so low?
I mean, I can't tell you anything about these rankings because the Los Angeles Kings shouldn't be number 2 on this list, and I don't think the Oilers should be number 3 with what's happened to them over the last little while. So,
fair point.
Winnipeg has the best goal differential in the league. Highest points percentage in the league, and they're 5th on these power rankings right now. So I think these power rankings are very recency bias, the way they put together over at TSN, but still. Tommy, would you leave Connor Brown with Connor McDavid to start the playoffs?
I'd like to see Hyman on that line with McDavid, but you could have Hyman, Brown, and McDavid together.
I mean, you could do that. Yeah.
Yeah, you could. Part of me thinks we're going to see Brown, Henrique, and Janmark reunited at some point. I don't know if it's right out of the gate, but Connor Brown's been really good. Like, he's looking like the guy that played for them when he got in the second round, right, against Vancouver. They didn't play him against LA.
Yeah.
And then when he did play, he was tenacious. He made the right play. Anytime he touched the puck, he would win battles. He would get to the puck first, so he was quick on races. Like, he was just a mutt out there in the best way possible. I say that as a compliment. And it feels like his game is starting to return to that form at this time of year, which is great. So, I mean, if that's what they feel like is the right combination, that they leave him on McDavid's wing, sure. But I still think Hyman is most effective with McDavid. But if you're going to go Nugent Hopkins playing center, third line or whatever, then yeah, I'd probably want Hyman on that top line.
Yeah. If Frederick can't go in game 1, do you play Nuge down the middle, or does Nuge got to be on the wing, do you think? Because I mean, you could go. I mean, you could just leave it Skinner, McDavid, Brown. Draisaitl gets Arvidsson and Podkolzin.
Yeah.
And then Nuge centers your third line with however you want to construct it.
Right. That is doable. Is that line of Skinner, Brown, and McDavid not too small, but do they get
not physically imposing enough?
Yeah. Do they need some meat on that line?
I mean,
although Skinner's been playing good. Like he's been in the muck a little bit more, and I like that. Like he's playing with a little bit of jam, not a ton, but he's got more than he did certainly in October, November, and December. I don't know. You could try it.
I mean, it's impossible to predict their playoff opening night lineup right now anyway, but
I know.
yeah. Joel says Daily Faceoff has a power ranking that's a lot more accurate. Let me see if, like I said, I usually just sort of read whatever power rankings pop up on my feed. Where is somebody send me I don't see their power rankings unless they're like, I don't see the article for it. Joel, if you want to fire it to me, we can discuss. We have about 5 minutes left. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. If you want to text in anytime here, we can definitely get to that. Pizza Boy says Kane, Nuge line 3. Pizza Boy.
Who are we missing there? Yeah.
Who are you missing there? Somebody else got to be in there. I mean, so Tommy, did you say earlier you think Kane's thinking he might be ramped up for game 1 here?
Yeah. I mean, just listening to him today, I think that's the goal. Is he just wants to play in game 1. I just the one part that I found odd is the different opinions or thoughts on what he should do, like Knobloch not wanting to talk about potentially playing him down in the minors to get him a game or two, and then him saying that hasn't been brought up. Like something there doesn't add up. Like there's a disagreement of some sort. That's just me speculating. But listening to Kane today, like he was talking like he's going to be ready for game 1. He just needs the clearance from the medical staff. And then actually that was another thing that was brought up with him is like, what will it take for you to be ready? What hurdles need to be overcome? And he had to think about it too. He's like, I'm not 100% sure. He's like, there's a few things that have to happen. Obviously, the medical team giving him the green light is probably the best. There's probably got to be some meetings with the coaching staff. But I assume after everything we heard today from both Knobloch and Kane, the goal is for him to be ready for game 1.
So you could go to Kane, Nuge, Hyman on your third line.
Yeah, potentially.
Which
you could.
That's a really good third line. I mean, that third line should be able to do some damage for you, I would think. If you're okay with McDavid and Draisaitl carrying the other wingers to start the playoffs. But I think the third line for Philly or for the Kings is Danault, Fogle, and Trevor Moore. Like, that's a pretty good third line in itself. So, I mean, it'd be nice to be able to have a third line that can kind of roll there a little bit. And then you could go fourth line. Let's say Frederick can't go for game 1. Then you just go Janmark, Henrique, and Perry on your fourth line, right? That could be something that you could look at. I did find this. It was right in front of me. I didn't see the link. So these are the power rankings over at Daily Faceoff. They got the Jets at 1, the Golden Knights at 2, the Capitals at 3, Dallas at 4. And these are put together by a couple of guys, Scott Max, Hunter and Scott Max. I don't know them, but they're using a system that aggregates stats, which comes around. So the Jets at 1, the Golden Knights at 2, the Caps at 3, the Dallas Stars at 4, Kings at 5, Avs at 6, Tampa at 7, Oilers at 8, Leafs at 9, Carolina at 10, and then the Florida Panthers at 11 there as well. That's pretty, but I think if you're looking at, like, that's more accurate than TSNs, which appear to be like, hey, here's the past week and how teams played type of thing.
Yeah. Utah being up there, that formula doesn't make sense if it's So they teased it as power rankings going into the playoffs. However, it is how every team is playing right now, essentially.
Which is kind of, I don't know, that's misleading on a power ranking to me, to be honest with you.
That's a better way to put it. Yes.
I want to get to this text before we get going from Lingus. Dusty, William Huff will have my order ready for tomorrow. That's how quick they're going to turn all this stuff around. He goes, I even screwed up and ordered 2, to which they reached out to see if that is what I wanted. What a great company. Absolutely exceptional customer service. Thanks to EST and William Huff. Once again, to get your hands on the decals, the stickers, the banner, the pom-pom, all 4 items, however you want to piece it together, go to williamhuff.com, click on store. You'll see the 2025 playoff link. You can click on that and you can make your order. Use the code ESTHUFF. That's ESTHUFF, and you'll get 10% off up until 6 o'clock tonight. So you have to move quickly on that one. Tommy, what time do you get rolling tonight?
We get going at 7 o'clock. We're going to have our Kings insider, Dennis Bernstein, joining us.
Bernstein, beautiful.
It's a springtime tradition unlike any other because DB's back, and we love him. So it's going to be great. Cass in tow, and Ice Coop. He's been adding some new wrinkles to the postgame show, playing clips that we could break down. Very impressed with his first foray.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
Love to see it. Make sure you make plans to join Tommy and I, Clairview Boston Pizza, on Wednesday for a little lunch, a little oil stream. Come on by, say hi. I'll buy you a bevy. Should be a pretty good time. Tune into the post-game show tonight. EST Afternoons is coming up with Maddie and Gager. The Reed Wilkins Show from 3 to 6, diving into everything from the rink this morning. Take it easy.